Hi, my name is Haley Brito. Thank you for being here. You're probably wondering what's with the tiny urn. This is Frank. He was my hamster that passed away a year ago after living for 3 years. Yes, I paid adult money to get my hamster cremated, and yes, he lived for 3 long, happy, and healthy years due to my responsible pet ownership. Too many pets are put in the hands of irresponsible pet owners, but by following my 5 solutions, you can ensure that you are caring for your pet responsibly. Just a little bit about myself. I worked some time as a kennel technician in a veterinary office, which is a fancy way of saying that I took care of dogs and cats at a boarding facility. I have 2 cats myself. I wish I had more, but they are very expensive, and I'm reminded by this fact every time that I go to my local Petco in Bethel Park. Last month, restocking for cat litter, after accepting the fate of losing $40 on said cat litter, I wandered off into the betta fish section. While looking at the beautiful scaly friends in the little cups, I ran into one of my friends, Ashley, who I hadn't seen in a while. While catching up, I noticed in her cart, she had a beautiful male betta fish, red and orange with a little bit of pink and purple on his long fins. And next to him were a lot of items that looked like she was going to be setting up an enclosure that looked something like this. Now, a betta fish can technically live in this enclosure, but they're not going to be happy or thrive. It's like forcing you to live in a room rather than a home. And Dr. Krista Keller, veterinarian and board certified specialist in zoology, recommends something more like this. And I told Ashley this, but she didn't have the space for a 5-gallon, so she took the first one home. My goal here isn't to shame anybody. I too have had inadequate enclosures for my pets growing up, but we are all capable of learning and doing better for our pets. So what really is pet owner irresponsibility? It's failing to meet your pet's needs physically, mentally, or socially. So how do we prevent this? That leads us to my first solution. Choose the right pet for you. We want to be asking ourselves questions like, do we have the time for this animal, the money, the space? Animals have different temperaments and behaviors, and also specific to dog breeds. And this was confirmed in a dog behavior study in 2014 by James Serpel and Deborah Duffy. So for example, if you're a very inactive person, you're not going to want to get a golden retriever because they have a lot of energy and need to play outside for long periods of time. We also don't want you to get the wrong pet so that you end up surrendering your pet. The American Veterinarian Medical Association says that when you choose a pet, you accept responsibility for the health and welfare of another living thing. You are making a promise to care for your pet for his or her entire life. So choosing the right pet is going to minimize the chance that you're going to give up your pet. In the University of Colorado, they analyzed 2,836 randomly selected ownership relinquishment forms from 2018 to 2023. And what they found was that the main issue for ownership relinquishment was behavioral issues or unmet expectations of their pets. So we want to make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success right from the get-go. We're also going to understand potential healthcare risks or potential dietary restrictions that our pet might need, which leads us to my second solution. Stay on top of your pet's health. We want to make sure that we're taking our pet to the vet often. We want to make sure that we're vaccinating our pet. Veterinarian Mark Freeman says that vaccines are remarkably safe and effective and truly protect our beloved 4-legged companions against significant and often fatal diseases. We want to have our pets with us for as long as we can have them for. And we also want to make sure that we are providing them the right nutrition so that they're able to live long and healthy lives. The Association for Pet Obesity Prevention, they released a study in 2023 shedding a light on the issue of pet obesity. They show this is with cats. They say that 61% of cats are in this overweight and obese area, which is not good because the Canadian Academy of Vet Nutrition say that this can lead to cancer, diabetes, hypertension, even joint issues. And we want our pets to feel comfortable and safe. The Galena Animal Medical Center in Maryland also says that along with going to the vet for purposes like health and nutrition, we also want to bring them for dental care, nail trims, and avoiding matting by grooming because we don't want our pets to live in pain or be susceptible to infection or parasites. So we know that we have to choose the right pet, and we know that we have to stay on top of our pet's health. We also want to make sure that we are training and socializing our pet. Training and socializing our pet, and this is going to be specific to dogs because you can't train a fish, although if anybody has, I'd love to see it. So this is going to be more catered towards dogs. When you're training and socializing your dog, they're going to have less unwanted behaviors such as chewing, barking, aggression, and this is very important. When I worked at the clinic, it was very difficult to maintain safety for me and the dog if it couldn't sit and stay still for a shot. It was also difficult walking dogs as a kennel technician because they could dart out from me, and this could put them in a situation where they could get hit by a vehicle. In 2023, a published article in the Journal of Animal Welfare, researchers in the UK at the Royal Vet College found proportionately high risk of death to unwanted behaviors compared with other specific causes of death. So this means that training your dog how to sit or stay can save their life and prevent premature death. So we also want to when we are socializing and training our pet, to avoid unwanted breeding. And that leads us to number 4. Spay and neuter your pet. Spaying is removing their female reproductive organs, and neutering is removing male reproductive organs so that they cannot reproduce. And this is very important because the Ross University School of Vet Medicine says that this is actually can lead to less unwanted behaviors like the chewing, the aggression, the barking, because animal sex hormones actually affect how an animal reacts. Also found in 2018 in a published review in the Journals of Gerontology, Dr. Jessica Hoffman and colleagues found that your animals are actually going to live longer. They found that it obviously gets rid of the risk of cancer in reproductive organs, but also for females, they're not going to have to deal with any complications that might arise with reproduction and pregnancy and delivery. We want our pets to live as long as they can with us. We also look at this when to spay. WhenToSpay.org provides this visual. Dogs can have 2 litters a year, and cats can have 3 litters a year. We all know the issues at local shelters where they have to euthanize animals that come in because they're overpopulated. We don't want to add to this by adding unwanted litters to their caseload. We want to be responsible. So, speaking of shelters, when we look at 5, Solution 5 is offer proper shelter or enclosure for your animal. So this means that we're keeping our area clean and safe. We don't want our pet to get injured or sick. We want proper enrichment for our pet. For example, my cats have a lot of toys like this so that we don't have to necessarily play with them, but they can feel enriched at home when we're not home. This is also very important for smaller critters, like Frank. This is a popular enclosure that a lot of hamster owners will get. It's a critter tail habitat. But according to Dr. Teresa Manussi, she's a veterinarian in Orange Park, Florida, she says that this is inadequate. It's too small, the wheel's too small, which can lead to back issues, and the joints in the tubes actually are a breeding ground for bacteria and ammonia from the urine. So I avoided this with Frank, and I followed my solutions to be responsible. So by choosing the right pet for you, by staying on top of their health, by training and socializing your pet, and by neutering and spaying and making sure that you are offering the proper shelter and enclosure, you can make sure you are responsible as well. To you, your pet might be a chapter of your life, but to your pet, they are your whole book. Thank you for listening.